Hi, cities. How are you doing? Welcome to Niasum. Thank you so much for the support. Hope you are good. A very big shout out to all these men, black men, for coming out, speaking it the way it is. I appreciate you people. I love to see my people do their thing. Now, let me start with this. Why is it that everything that is happening in the United States is expected to be fixed by black people? Especially when they come out to say that, that black people are the only people that can fix what is going on. Each time I hear that, I am like, why is it that it is only black people that you all think that can fix everything? We know they hold that power. They have all it takes. What are you people doing also to fix majority of the things? They want to fix some certain things. They do not want to fix some certain things. They want black people to continue to fix for them. Why they don't fix anything for black people? They do not even want to dismantle the system that has been oppressing black people and other people. And you all already know that black people are working so hard to make sure that everybody got what they are supposed to get as human beings. That is actually not going well with them. Last I checked, black people do not know anything about the creation of concept of race. And racism was nothing that we created. Why is it that you all are always asking black people to fix something that they did not create? Go and call the people that created it so they can dismantle it. Let's get into this video.
United States of America, to get out of the mess that it has always been, and to begin to start to live up to the ideals that it has always espoused. White people are going to have to tear down white supremacy. They're going to have to face this nation's storied past when it comes to racism and the black community. That means acknowledging chattel slavery and its devastating effect on the black community to begin with, and then making reparations for that harm, acknowledging that this nation is racist, and they will have to take a look in the mirror and acknowledge their own conscious and unconscious bias and racism. That's not going to happen. And I'm going to address this specifically to so-called white liberals and progressives. They, just like white conservatives and white overt racists and MAGA, are all of the same group. They are the privileged class in this country. And when you have lived your entire existence being part of the privileged class, being comfortable, the very idea of not being comfortable, that is unthinkable to them. You all have heard the term white fragility. That's a very real phenomenon. Think about how they react when their racism is called out. And I'm referring to white liberals and white progressives. It's like you have punched them in the face 1,000 times by calling out their racism. And the bottom line is that black folk, we did not create racism. We didn't create the social constructs of race, but we still have to deal with the effects of those constructs. But we are not able to tear that down. White folks are going to have to do it. And I know I sound cynical. They're not about to do that. As long as they can march, as long as they can do their online activism, as long as it doesn't cost them anything, they're cool with it. But I saw a creator on here and his takes are brilliant. And he laid out a pretty accurate strategy for fighting against the felon in chief. And that is for white people who did not vote for him, who labeled themselves progressives and liberals, to boycott the ones that are conservative and MAGA morons and racist. And that really is the only way that this nation can ever pull itself out of the trash bin that it's in. But that won't happen. I hope I'm proven wrong, but I doubt it, you all. They have been privileged for far too long. Remember earlier this year when they had their protest and they were asking about bounce houses and food trucks and having picnics? They will protest in a way that does not cost them anything and that will secure their comfort. That is why they don't confront the racist within their own family. Well, you know, little June and little Jill's grandfather and grandmother, we just can't upset them. That is, they are their grandparents. Well, we just can't go against mom and dad and be disinherited. That's a major one. Who's going to pay for our college education? Who's going to pay our mortgage? Who's going to give us a down payment on a house? Who's going to give us the startup money for our businesses that we want to start? We can't rock that boat. Do you see what I'm saying? Comfort. They are comfortable. You can't disturb their comfort. That's why they keep talking about peaceful protest. That very term, peaceful protest, is an oxymoron. When you have effective protest, you are disrupting the normal flow of operations to make a point. That is the point of protesting. So, yeah, I am not holding my breath about white liberals and progressives actually putting their money figuratively and literally where their mouth is. Because again, that comfort that they have, they don't want to give that up, y'all. In order for the United States of America to get out.
Hey guys, listen to my brother right there. His video is amazing. I think even Tabitha did a duet with it too. Very well done. What's it going to take? Mine is going to be part 2, and mine is going to be a darker addition to what he's talking about, and albeit a little cynical. And again, like him, I hope I'm proven wrong. I hope this is not what it takes. Y'all familiar with this book, right? This book called Dying of Whiteness? This book here? My cynical take on what's it going to take for this country to get past this is that we have to let this happen. We're going to have to let whitey people deplete themselves by their actions, by how they vote, by the things they think they're harming us, but they're harming themselves. We're going to have to let them deplete themselves until they shrink so much to the point where the rest of us, right, who are accustomed to live under their thing, we go to the rest of us, gain enough numbers to force progress on the country. It's a dark thing I'm looking at. Why I say this? Just look back over history, right? Whitey people consistently look at the other, especially black people. They don't want us to have anything. They don't want us to progress past them. And they are totally willing, like they did November 5th, yet again, to destroy everything, even their own, if they perceive. They're willing to enact total nihilistic destruction. Armageddon for the Pyrrhic perception that they've taken black people down a peg, that they've humbled black people, that they've pushed back that encroaching horde of black and brown of brown immigrants, of brown folks. And they consistently do that to prop up their whiteness, to prop up the perceptional top of pyramid benefit of whiteness. Let me say this clear and plain. Whitey people, you're clinging to your whiteness, the way you understand whiteness to be. Honestly, the way whiteness was, the inception of whiteness, clinging to the meaning of whiteness, is going to doom you. Because the conservatism that is wedded, this welded to that whiteness, is going to stop progress from taking hold of this country, which will benefit all. Your whiteness insists that progress shall not benefit all. Progress cannot be allowed to benefit all. It must outsizely benefit you more than the other, or else progress shall not be allowed to take hold. So basically, we're going to have to for the progress to happen, we're going to have to let Trump destroy everything. Take away their Medicare, Medicaid, their Social Security. Let RFK destroy the NIH, destroy our healthcare system, destroy our disease response. Yes, a lot of black and brown people are going to perish because those things that get destroyed, but a lot more whitey people are going to perish because there are more of them. And more whitey people use all those things, or more whitey people will be vulnerable to the effects of those things going away than black people will be, than Latinos and other people of color will be. Because they are the majority right now. They use it more, even though the perception is that we do. But they use it more by the sheer numbers. So guess what? They are enabling the destruction of things that keep them alive across the board. Because they think we are passing our place. So, this is the dark thing. So, we have to let them die of their whiteness. And what my friend's video that I stitched, only when enough of them deplete themselves due to their whiteness will we get a chance to basically force progress onto them. Force the future onto them. Force decency onto them. Because there will be enough of us here and a sizable, sensible minority of white people left who will vote for progress. And at that point, we can do what my friend was saying here. But it seems to me, from what I'm saying, I'm in a mood right now, it seems to me that this is what it's going to take. Whitey people are going to have to do themselves in by a significant number in order for their reflex and this intransigent need to prop up their whiteness by all means. White people gonna have to do themselves in to the point where their need to prop up their whiteness will no longer carry the day. Where it cannot carry the day. No matter what they do, no matter how they vote, no matter the actions they take, it will no longer carry the day. But for that to happen, we're gonna have to let whitey people live in what they think their whiteness is. And even though we warn them that their whiteness is the poison that is going to be fatal to them, they insist on not listening. We've been telling them for centuries that their whiteness is going to unalive them, is going to cause their extinction. When I say their whiteness, I mean the socio-cultural construct of whiteness is going to do them in. Their hapless, subconscious, oblivious subservience to whiteness is going to do them in. And maybe we need to let that calling, that self calling take place for the country to finally live up to the lofty ideals of its constitution. I don't know what else to say. It's going to be bad. But unfortunately, I think it is what it is.
In order for the United States of America to get out.
I implore you to go back and watch that brother's video because I do not want to impact I do not want to overstep on the impact of what he said. And me being the cynical human being that I am, I wanted to caveat off of it. You see, in this country, and again, this might hurt some people's feelings, but y'all know me. I deal in a level of honesty here. But let's just be 100% honest, shall we? America's problem has always been the idea of superior versus inferior. It's always been that way. Always. It is in our bones. It's in our DNA. I've often said that a person who can tell me how great this country is and have never left it, you have no frame of reference for anything that you're talking about. At all. None. How in the hell can you possibly say this is the greatest country on earth when you've never left it? You've never been to other countries. And there are people who go to other countries and act as superior to the people in those countries they visit than anything. America's apathy and arrogance has always gotten us to where we are right now. You tack on the other A's, which is atrocities and amnesia. We'll do some heinous shit and we'll forget about it. And you get a stew for exactly why America is where it is today. And the problem is we're not learning. We're not. We have literally a multiverse full of information. And people are choosing to be stupid. They are choosing it. This is an active choice. An active choice. They are saying in non-simple terms, hey, I choose to be dumb. And that is a problem. That is a problem. And yes, race has a lot to do with it. I know a lot of people don't like talking about it, but it's true. You have to look at the totality of the picture in order to understand it. Race has a very, very big problem, or very big part in why America is the way it is today. Hence the reason I really want you to go back and watch this brother's video. The problem when it comes to putting these things in charge of the Caucasian majority is this: a lot of them don't like change. They don't. The reason nothing gets torn down is because they're comfortable with it. They think somehow it's going to eventually benefit them, and it never does. It never does. We've had generation after generation after generation of Caucasian people being born, and this idea of their superiority has never given them anything. It never has. If you notice, the Patriot Front boys march on the street for intimidation, whereas the Heritage Foundation ain't put up a march yet. They don't have to. They don't. They have the one thing these Patriot Front dumbasses don't, which is power. Political power, financial power, religious power. They have power. They don't have to do those things. So how much is this right-wing ideology benefiting those guys in them dumbass khaki pants and those masks? It isn't. It isn't benefiting them at all. They talk about the greatness of this country and how many white men built it. The problem with that is they're not the white men that did. And the white men that they're revering didn't do it either. They were just in charge of it. That was it. That's all. They never built anything. They were just in charge of building. Now, I say all that to say this. You cannot ask somebody to tear down something that, number one, makes them comfortable, and number two, they don't recognize. I want you to think about it. Soldiers on America's largest military base, Fort Bragg, bought necklaces with little credit cards on them that says, "White privilege trumps everything." They bought those things. Why did they buy them? Because right now they think they are superior. They feel superior to everyone. They have a president that will bolster that feeling. Won't give them any truth. Truth? Pfft, no. But he will give them the ideal that they are superior now. He'll give it to them. And what do these guys lose in return? What do they lose in return? Dignity, they don't notice. Security, they don't notice that one either. It gives them nothing. It gives them nothing. And it takes from them everything. But do you think we can get them to understand that? No. No, we can't. It's too ingrained. A lot of the boomers now, a lot of the boomers that we have right now, I'm not saying all of them, but a lot of them have this mentality not only around race, but around work ethic, around social norms, as if they forgot the tumultuous 60s that they grew up in and how much literally America was fighting with itself, whether to remain in this pre-Civil War mentality or to embrace a world of diversity. And now you see the result. They keep wanting to go back to that. They keep wanting to go back to that. How do you fight that? How do you fix that? You can't. You can't. To ask people within marginalized communities to fix a problem that lies solely within the white majority now is ridiculous. But I've been hearing it. I've been hearing it my whole life. I hear it especially here since I've been on TikTok, since I've been a social commentator and sitting in front of cameras and things of that nature. They're always telling us to fix a problem we did not create, we did not invent, we did not cultivate, and it never benefited us. And then they get these poor, overworked, underpaid, po-ass Caucasians amongst the rest of us to be their mouthpieces. How crazy is that? How crazy is that? Where I'm going to have your ass fighting a battle I won't fight. People like the Heritage Foundation and Club for Growth and the Chamber of Commerce, evangelical Christian conservatism, they all want us to remain where we are because any inkling forward means a lessening of their power. How do you fight that? How? How do you fight that? How do you even begin to fight that? You can't. You can't. We are asking Caucasian people in America to do something that they have never been asked to do in their life, and a lot of them are incapable of doing it, which is tearing down, first off, just looking at the systems that were put in place and how much they benefited you. We can't even get them to do that, let alone actually wanting to dismantle it. No. And the powerful is not going to let them do it even if they wanted to. Even if they wanted to, which they don't. So we have these conversations over and over and over and over and over. We end up going into circles over and over and over and over and over. Go to any live on TikTok or on Instagram or whatever where this subject is being debated and it's never fixed because there's always somebody that wants to stop forward progress because they feel uncomfortable. Please go back and watch that brother's video. Please. The only way we're going to fix America is if, in the words of Eddie Glade Jr., we get white people to finally let go of whiteness, embrace humanity, embrace diversity, embrace the idea of a rising tide lifts all boats. And more importantly, and the biggest one of all, erasing this superiority that a lot of white Americans think they have. You're not superior. You have a lack of melanin and a power structure that was built by people that look like you, not you, but people that look like you, to benefit themselves. You just so happen to be a byproduct of it. When you embrace humanity, you can tear that down. But as long as you're embracing whiteness, it's not really a priority to you, is it?
From this video, and I am going to say it is not going to be bad because it is already bad. And I am saying a very big shout out to all of them. They are great backbone. Bishop Thomas, Island Boy Pundit, and Rod Faulkner. I appreciate them. Now let me tell you, there is something that I've been thinking majority of the time, like, when it comes to the concept of this. And each time I think about it, I am like, how did these people wake up to create this? Like, when you see this person, you know this person is white, black, that, and all that. But looking back, everybody came from Africa. So how come some people are this? But like we all know, the concept of whiteness, race, and all that was never black people's imagination, or black people did not create it, right? And each time I think about that, each time I think about that, the only thing that comes to my mind is that these people actually knew what they were doing. When some certain things are masterminded, I don't know how they did, something that has lasted for how many years. Excuse me if I am going to digress. It's just like the way we wake up some certain kind of days. You see a disease that will last for 100 years, right? And you are like, how come about that? How did it come? It was something that was created and man-made, artificial. And then, I'm sorry, I don't know why, I have so many things in my head, but I am going to try, to voice. I don't want to digress. So when they come and tell people that look like me that you have to work hard, or maybe stop talking about it, or they tell you that it will go away, it will not go. It may go away. And that is when people that look like me eventually got the hold of that power, right? And they knew that eventually this will happen, because if you look at some certain things they do, you definitely know that they are not what, when I and you are not thinking something bad, something evil, something heinous, right? All you just want is something like, guys, just let us be. Let's work in peace. Let's live in peace. Let's do whatever we want to do. Dismantle the system so that the system won't have to be oppressing a particular kind of person, because the system was never built for people that look like me. It was built for them, and it's been benefiting them for how many years? Like, how can a system, and that is where the trouble is, how can a system be benefiting just one people, just one group of people? The other ones are just survivor of the fittest. Like, if you are able to make it through the day, you can always make it through any other day. It's not our concept. We did not plan that. And that is why people that look like me are working so hard to dismantle. And that was one of the reasons why they called everybody all out to do something different. But they failed. I am going to trash that by the side first. Right? So black people do not have that kind of mindset, like, let's do this. The only thing they work is just to make sure that they are not oppressed and every other person is okay. But what they are working on is always a long-term kind of something, like how to hold on to this power as long as every other person leaves. We do not want any other person to hold the power. Can you see both mindset? Both mindset are different if you do not know. One mindset wants change, wants something good to happen to every other person, wants you to live better, wants you to have a better life, better job, well-paid job. But the other person do not want that for you. Want you to remain wherever you've been to whenever. And they are tightening their spaces. Why? Because they do not want you to invade some of their spaces. Man, I don't know if someone is understanding this, but one thing I am going to say is that both minds are not the same. The other one is even so much after into making sure that they have a lot of children. Why? Because they feel like maybe when we are normal, we will not have any other people fighting, or we are fighting. Man, let me tell you something. Whatever you are fighting is not good, right? Why must you have to tighten? Why must you have to tighten something in order to be? Why must you have to tighten something? They want people to have kids. Why? Because they feel there is a decline in some certain things. So why would there be decline? So it means these people will eventually. But then they also know, when they sometimes I'm like, who actually made you all think that you were superior? Because so far I do not see. There are some videos that I will bring here. The only thing I want to write is like something that will cause chaos. But then you remember the space you are in, and you're like, oh, you just have to do it in a way that the video will not cause problem, maybe report, or maybe because most times, most of my videos do not make money. Yes, because they will tell you that the content you are dropping is not advertisement friendly. A majority of you don't see all this, because everybody's saying, oh, she's dropping how many videos in a day, and maybe she will be making a lot of money. Go and ask other people. I remember Afro Think Tan also saying it. Some videos don't make money because they are not advertisement friendly. And the kind of video I bring here on a daily basis, the majority of them, to them, but we have to say the way it is. We have to keep saying it. We have to keep talking. That because I am not making money doesn't mean that I have to make the ones that will give me money. Money will come eventually. It may not come today, but tomorrow it will come. All right? But the truth needs to be told. When this thing is no longer serving you, what is it that will serve you? It's just like sometimes when they talk about superiority, and I am like, who made them? Who told them that they are superior? What gave them that mindset? How did they know? Because why I know that they take so much pride in that is that I remember one woman. I don't know what I can't remember what she did. Okay. The other one, she messed up with the cops. No, I remember she messed up with the cops, and the cops trying to hold her. You know how they hold their people friendly, even while still trying to interact with her to say, why are you even treating me like a minority? That or they knew that you are not being treated well, but they keep lying. Why? Because they got to lie. They got to lie. They have to. If they don't lie, what else? Why? What? And sometimes I am like, do not tell me that these people were the ones that came to Africa to colonize us. Hey! Now, wow. And then the other one, I am like, but this one is the biggest one. I ask this particular one on daily. How come my people live with these people for how many decades? For how many decades? And you all are still, wow. I am not going to lie to you. I say this on daily because I bring videos on daily. Some of them, I look at them, I am like, how did my people, how are they living with this? But it is what it is. If I continue talking this video, it's already 35 minutes. Bye for now.